What up, this is Rama screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Marvel's The Defenders series. Let's rock this. Marvel's Defenders, aka The Defenders series, is quite enjoyable if you are into what Jessica Jones describes in the show as an endless kung fu party, frequent rounds of people kicking and punching each other. And it does have some impressive sequences, by the way. But story-wise, it follows the manual guidebook of superhero team-ups way too closely. So the show starts out strong, but ends generically. Serving as showrunners are Douglas Petria and Marco Ramirez. Forgive me if I mispronounce their names. The Defenders joins up all four of Marvel's Netflix superhero forces to save New York City. Now, you've seen each of them in their own respective solo series, so the build-up is already there. The Hand as the existing unifying villain has already been established, and so here you get to see them collide. Matt Murdock / Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox, Jessica Jones, played by Kirsten Ritter, Luke Cage, played by Mike Coulter, and Danny Rand / Iron Fist, played by Finn Jones. They realize now that despite being burdened by personal challenges, they're much stronger when teamed together. Let's go through what I think are some of this show's biggest points. I enjoy how the showrunners magnify what is unique about each of the four leads even more for this installment. Jessica Jones' skepticism and cynicism is on the nth degree, and the same goes for Danny Rand's belief in the world of mysticism and lore. His conviction seems so much more committed this time around. And Luke Cage with his need to save everyone, and Matt Murdock carrying guilt. My point is that because the differences of these personalities get to be made even more significant, it's not easy at first for them to work together as a fighting unit, which I think is great because you want a certain level of drama to come within the action. And to go along with that, another thing that I equally enjoy are the way the team-up fights are choreographed and shot. By that I mean, in other shows or movies like it, it's usually done in some kind of a seamless dance where there's a rhythm to it, so you kind of know when the other character would sort of tag in and do the kicking in order to pick up where the other character leaves off. Those elements do exist in this show, but they're not seamless, and that's what I love about that. Partly because of the cinematography as well, which shows the full frame. In one scene, for example, Daredevil is in the middle of his fight with this bad guy, and you see Jessica Jones standing close by, intensely waiting for that opening where she could then lift the bad guy by the wayside and throw him overboard. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you see it all when that type of response doesn't work. I think that's fantastic because it's gritty, it's messy, and less graceful, and that their team-up fights are not some kind of well-timed synchronized swimming. I love that the Defenders' big bad villain is fan favorite and geek icon Sigourney Weaver. And you know what? She holds her end quite nicely. Sigourney Weaver may not have the bull strength intimidation of Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk or the frustration of David Tennant's Kilgrave, but Sigourney plays her character more like a conniving corporate tool. Unfortunately, just like most shows, without spoiling any details here, halfway through, there's a twist shift going on in the power struggle that I think is not only predictable, but it also plays into what I said earlier about this following the manual guidebook way too closely. In addition to pitting who is supposed to be a hero or an anti-hero against the four leads, I mean, turning a hero into a villain is a road that we've been down before way too many times in the comic book adaptation universe. With X-Men 3, for example, or Batman vs. Superman, or even the Avengers when some of its members were under a spell. So in this case, what is supposed to be, at least from how they've built it up, what is supposed to be the Hand wanting to harness one of the four leads, it turns into a one-woman's personal vendetta of proving to the world that she is nobody's bitch, for lack of a better word. So all that good work just goes to waste by episode 6 or 7, when the purpose takes a detour for an untethered anarchy and a mediocre martyrdom. It's such a shame, really, if you think about it, because it's got four great characters and the potential to go unique and different, but instead it chooses to copy what everybody else is doing. So to conclude, there's a lot to be enjoyed about the Defenders. The four leads are great. None of them try to be something they're not. The fights are, again, messy and worth the watch. I think it's wise that it just has 8 episodes instead of the usual 13, because 8 is more than enough to stretch the arc. Any minute longer, then it would be unnecessarily boring. I mean, episode 7 in particular is already a slow burner. The whole flashes of subway trains and taxi cabs to show the transition from one character to the next are quite amusing, especially for those of us who've been to New York City many times. But the villains and the switch of their purpose are quite disappointing in my book. Again, the word generic is what I would use to describe it. It's the word that comes to mind when I think about it. Perhaps it would resonate with other fans, but I wanted something much more grand. So that's my review of The Defenders. Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and please subscribe to this channel. And if you like my channel, if you like all the videos here, and if you want me to make more, please support me at patreon.com/ramascreen. Even if it's just $1 per month or $2 per month, every little help helps. So please, again, go to patreon.com/ramascreen and become my patrons. Let's rock this.